Dr. Aaron. Awesome. Thank you so much for hopping on. My name is James, and this is
Hi, Angel, everyone. Nice to see you on here.
Angel, and we're relatively new to the. Oh, who's that? Oh, there's Nina. Yeah. Relatively new to the MDC world. We started with MDC right before last convention.
Yeah.
And so it's just been a whirlwind of what's going on here at My Daily Choice. I don't think we could. Oh, there's a little one. There's your mini me. And so we're just so excited to be on this call tonight. And it's amazing the culture that has been developed here at My Daily Choice. It was one of the things that really attracted us to the company. People from all walks of life, all experience levels, all backgrounds. It really attracts so many different types of people. I love that about My Daily Choice. And now, you know, Josh, with what he's done in the digital world, with the platform that he's created, now Marc is kind of bringing the live world to what we're going to be doing in 2023. There are some people on here that I know Marc, that worked personally with him at other companies. I've never gotten the chance to work with Marc. I've seen videos. I know people that worked with him in the past, but I've never really been able to experience him in person, except for convention, which was amazing. If you haven't seen his gambler that he did back then, you didn't see all the things that were at convention, make sure you check that out. It was awesome, but it was really just a precursor, a mini preview of what's to come in 2023.
It's such a tease. Yeah. I'm like, I want more.
You want more because, again, you know, if you're on this call, you most likely realize that this industry always is going to come down to one thing and one thing only, and that's mindset. You know, skills and all those different things, anyone can learn those. It's the mindset that you always really have to dig into to really have success in this industry. I've been doing this for now over 20 years, you for about 7 years. And, you know, no matter what we're representing or what business we're doing, the product, it always comes down to mindset. And once you learn how to master your mindset, you can have whatever level of success. And that's why I'm so excited for Marc to come into this world, because I think that's what's going to take My Daily Choice from where it is now to a multi-billion-dollar company that is known really throughout the world. And that's really started from Jenna with her goal of creating 100 people at the super affiliate level. And she needed someone to help her do that.
Let's go.
So enter Marc Accetta, who has in the past trained, I would say, thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, thousands to earn multiple 6-7 figures, do trainings to 30,000 people in a stadium. I'm not going to steal his thunder. I want him to intro himself too. But it's really cool to be a part of a company that really blends digital and live, because there's such a magic that happens there when you have systems and tools online you can use. But when you get together, that's what makes it real. And if you're at convention, I would love to see in the chat, if you were at convention, put in the chat, I was there, or I was, or convention, or whatever you want to put in the chat, because if you were there, you got to see a preview of what we're going to talk about tonight. And if you were there and you saw the whole idea that he did with Gambler and you understand the flipping of the cards, what we're going to really talk about tonight is a prep and preview for MDC Boot Camp, which is going to happen in February. If you've not secured your tickets yet, I would encourage you to do that as soon as you get off this call, because there's some really cool things that are going to come out in January, and just a lot of things that you want to make sure that you're there, but not just you have 2, 3, 10, 20, 50, 100 people there with you, and why you want to do that. And that's the point of tonight's call, is why would I want to be at boot camp? Why would I want to have other people make that investment? Because just from what we saw with Marc at convention, even if the ticket price was $500, and it's not right now, I think it's $179. You know, that almost 3 days of event that we'll do in February, I've been to events that cost $10,000 to go to, and we're getting it for $180. There's some really cool things that we're going to be able to kind of go over tonight. And so I don't know if Marc hopped back on his camera. I know it was on here earlier, but now there is almost over 200 people on the call. So hopefully he'll be able to come up. Oh, there he is. I think he just came off camera. And so, Marc, I would love for you just to kind of introduce yourself, because there might be people on here that don't know who you are, because again, you're relatively new, just like us. You kind of got started with MDC almost the same time as we did. So people might be going, Mark who? I think I've seen a picture of him. Maybe I heard about him. But I'd love for you to intro yourself a little bit, and then we can dive into, why people need to be at boot camp.
Sure. Well, first of all, thanks for allowing me the privilege of talking to the team. I always appreciate that. And don't take it lightly, because I know, a lot of people are very protective of who does and doesn't get the privilege of doing that. So my journey started almost 34 years ago. And I was frustrated. I got out of college. The real world never appealed to me, so I never got a real job. But I did get a job selling cookware, china, and crystal door to door. And mostly I did that because the guy who interviewed me for the job was dynamic, and he painted this picture. And, I just said, why not? I'd never, ever dreamt of being in sales. I wasn't money motivated at all. How I ended up in that job is almost unbelievable. But I started listening to Zig Ziglar. And if you don't know this, Zig Ziglar got his start selling cookware in China. So I did that for about 6 years and got pretty good at it. But I just, no money. Very, very difficult to recruit anyone, letting alone duplicate someone. And then the same guy who got me into that turned me on to network marketing. And then I was like, oh my God, this is so much different. Oh my gosh, I couldn't even believe it. So I did it for about 9 months. And here's the thing I didn't understand about the guy who brought me into cookware. Understood the cookware business. He didn't understand network marketing at all. So he kept guiding me and teaching me and training me, and everything he taught me was wrong. But here's the thing. If you don't know how to play piano and someone else is telling you how to play, don't you assume that they know how to play? Well, he didn't know how to play piano, ladies and gentlemen. So I was doing what he told me to do. And this is a very common story, by the way, in network marketing. And after 9 months, I was at my breaking point. I was at the quitting point. And it through an odd story, which I won't bore you with, I ended up at a live seminar. I went to a weekend seminar, and I remember being angry. The guy was charging $300 a person to go there, plus I had airfare, plus I had hotel. I thought it was stupid. I didn't think it was going to work. I was hardly motivated. Now, at that point, I had done zero personal development. I had no idea who Tony Robbins was. I other than going to see Zig Ziglar, and I went to see him for his training on selling, closing a sale, I really had no personal development whatsoever. So I went into that room, and after 2 hours, sincerely, that weekend seminar changed the direction of my life. It was unbelievable. Now, no seminar is going to take you from a zero to a base overnight. What that weekend did is it woke me up. It made me realize, oh my God, there's a right and a wrong way to invite people. There's a right and a wrong way to do a presentation. There's a right and a wrong, there's a right way to do all of it. There's hundreds of wrong ways. And I was doing virtually everything the wrong way, but I didn't know. See, how do you know what you don't know? So I didn't know. So I went to this event, and it's funny because a lot of people were like, well, was it inspirational? He talked very little about mindset. What he did that whole weekend is taught us all exactly how to do the business, how to do a 3-way call, how to invite, how to follow up, how to do this, so I went back and I was like, oh my God, I've got things to apply. So I applied it to my business. So the good news is, I got some increase in my results. I could see that, oh my gosh, this works. Like, the bad news is you don't play around. If we were lucky enough to get a golf lesson from Tiger Woods, it would help, but you don't become as good as Tiger after one lesson. So I went to the event, but then I was like, at that event, I was so excited. I signed up for the next event. That's very important. Wow, is that important? Because here's what's crazy. In my first event, I was ready to walk through a wall. I was ready to fly back from California to New Jersey, where I live, without an airplane. I was all about it. But one of the things Zig Ziglar said back in the day is motivation doesn't last. And it doesn't. So the stuff he taught me, all those things, after about 7, 8, 10 days, maybe 2 weeks, I was sort of back to my same old lethargic attitude. I was very bad at procrastinating back then. So I had gotten some benefit, but it wasn't great. And again, I'm just telling you, if I had not signed up for the next event, it was about 30 days later, I don't know if I would have gone. I might have not gone. And that scares me more than you can imagine. One of the things he taught at that event was never leave this event without signing up for the next event. Just don't do it. Do it while you're here, where you're in the mind space, where you have the belief. Just sign up for the next event. And I'm just telling you, in my entire lifetime, I've never, ever been at an event and not signed up for the next one. And that was one of the traits I taught my team as well. So anyway, I obviously decided not to quit. I went to that event. I signed up for the next one. The second event taught me a lot of the same things, but I heard it better because I had a little foundation from the first one, and there was always something that was different. And then I got definitely better results after that second one. So I went to a third one and a fourth one. And now after 3 of them, this is kind of embarrassing. After 3 events, I finally mustered up enough courage to go and actually speak with him, because there was always a long line of people to talk to him after the event or at a break. So I went on this line, and I'm not bullshitting it. Like, there was 100 people in the line. It took probably until 1 a.m. until I finally got to talk to him. And when I finally talked to him, he was like, so it's really cool. I've seen you at some of the events. What's your name? Blah, blah, blah. And he goes, so where's your team? Let me say hi to your team. And I'm like, oh, wow. Well, they're not here. He goes, oh, they already left. I go, well, no, I didn't bring them. He's like, do you ever have someone look at you like you're the dumbest person on earth? He didn't say anything, but he just looked at me like, why didn't you bring your people? I'm like, I should have brought him. He's like, well, I know. So he goes, tell you what, at the next event, bring 10 people. If you bring 10 people to the next event, bring them all to me, and I'll talk to them for a minute. But if you have 10 or more there, I'll give you what you paid for the seminar back. So the seminar is $300. I'll take $300 out of my pocket and hand it to you for doing a good job promoting the event. And I'm like, all right. So, God, it is amazing to me how human nature is so funny. So I could have probably had 15, 20 people there, but you know how many I had? 10, exactly 10. So sure enough, to his word, he talked to the group for a little bit. He gave me the money back, and then he pulled me aside and he goes, okay, so I'm never going to give you your money back again. But that was a one-time thing. But here's the deal. Anytime you come up to me and you have more people at this event than you had at the last event, I'll talk to your team for a couple minutes. So that was my goal, like always. So the next event was about 3 weeks later, but it wasn't in my hometown. The event with the 10 people was in New Jersey. The next one was in Salt Lake City. So I'm like, oh my God, that's an expensive airfare. Like in my mind, I didn't think I could do it. But what I didn't realize is of the 10 people who were there with me, 3 of them were as excited or more excited than I am. So instead of me having to get 11 people at the next event, it was me and those 3 people. So together we ended up with 13. And then at the next one, I had 16. And at the next one, I had 18. Like, I was like, I am going to have more people, because I always want to be able to go up there like a proud peacock and go, look, Dad, I had more people. And then the next one, I had 22. The next one, I had 24. And at that event in Houston, I had a couple of really good people. Now, we talked earlier about flipping cards. You know what I mean? Making that reference. I know that's your team name. And you just never know. Here's what happens when let me pause for a minute. I'll go back to that story. There's 3 outcomes. People go into 3 buckets when one of our events is over. About 25% of the people will be no different at all. Like, they're like, if you take the most unmotivated person in the world and you think you bring them to an event, I'm going to lay hands on them and say, huma humu, nuku nuku, apua'a, and they're going to turn into Josh Wagle, it ain't going to happen, okay? Some people are just who they are, and they don't want to change, and they're not going to change. That's the bad news. The next group is about 73%, and it's a big chunk. And those are the people that are going to get a little bit better at that event. Like me, at the first event, I got a little bit better. I was a little more confident. It made me stay in until the next event. And we'll help inspire and motivate those people. So coming out of that event for a week to 2 weeks after the event, they're going to be better. They'll be more confident. They'll call more people. They'll do more sales. They'll be more teachable. They'll be more coachable. And then the remaining 2% is what it's all about. And those are the people who are there, who are true aces, the people that are looking for an opportunity. Here's what an ace is to me. Someone who has got a burning desire to be successful, and they're teachable. They don't want to do everything their own way, and they've got some talent. So if you have someone who's got some real talent, they have a burning desire to be successful, and they're teachable, that is what you're looking for. Now, here's what's crazy. Some of you have those people on your team right now, but they're never going to activate until you get them to a live event. And that's where, you know, when I look at the success and you ask me about my background, I'm telling you my early part of being a rep. I was a rep for 19, 20 years, made this house, all the stuff I got, all the cars, all that. I bought that with money from being a rep. And then I became a trainer. So I'm not just a motivational speaker. I live and breathe network marketing. I love network marketing. And this story, let me go back to it for a minute. So I kept getting more and more people to the event. So I had 24 people in Houston, but I had 2 aces. Then I had 46 at the next event, not because I got better, because they got fired up along with me. Then at the next event, I had 155, and it just popped. And the next event, I had 250 something. So it just never went back. So I got those people on my team. And as my career went forward, I was a one-trick pony. I don't know if you saw the Yellowstone show, but they got some real, like, the world-class horses on those. And what they get those horses to do is mind-boggling. They can do all kinds of quote-unquote tricks, but there's an expression, a one-trick pony. They can only do one thing. They can't do all the tricks. They can only do, that was me. I could only do one thing back in the day, and that one thing was promote events. And here's why I was great at promoting events. Because when I went into my first event, and I know a lot of people don't believe this, it's because of, you know, who I've become a little bit, but it's like I was shy, I was quiet, I was introverted, I was settling for what life put in my path. I was very non-aggressive. I was extremely passive. I had a really bad self-image. I never saw myself being wealthy or successful. I didn't see myself as the kind of person that other people would follow. So as I started going to these events, I started to realize they're not just teaching how to invite, how to present, they do all that, but they're really mixing in this leadership training. But at the time, I didn't even know what the hell leadership training was. So I started becoming someone who didn't procrastinate anymore. Like, what the hell? Like, that in and of itself was a major breakthrough for me. And all these other things, I started learning concepts like when everything goes wrong, I'm the leader, I accept responsibility. When everything goes right, I take no credit. I give it away to everybody else who's responsible. All these things that we don't learn from mom and dad, most of us, we don't learn at school. So where do you learn it? Well, guess what? You learn it at the seminars. So those seminars, I was so truly transformed through those events. I went from someone who settled for whatever life put in my path to my mentor taught me to demand the best out of everything. Your physical health, your relationship, your finances, everything. You're in control. You can do anything you want to. You live in a land of opportunity. Stop being ridiculous. You might as well live in a country where there's no opportunity and it's socialist or communist because you're not doing anything with the opportunity you have here. This guy rattled my cage, got me going in the right direction, but gave me actionable information to take. So then all I did was get people to the events because I knew this. And this is important for you to hear. If they weren't successful in the company, so back then the company I was in was called NSA. Doesn't matter. Now you're in my daily choice. My thing was if they're not successful in the company, they're still going to be better at whatever they do because of this training. So I was proud to bring them to the training, and I certainly realized the benefit was most people who go into training are going to get better at doing the company. Therefore, I'm going to make more money. So I just got lots and lots of people. And over time, I went from hundreds to literally thousands of people in the audience, made millions of dollars, had a lot of people on my team make lots of money as well, because we all followed that one thing. We all had this identity that we promote events better than anyone else. So here's the thing I want you to understand. Like, this is where I think people get confused. So a lot of us will learn when it comes to recruiting people in network marketing, you're not selling, you're sorting. And I agree with that. Like, when you're asking someone on a date, you're not selling, you're sorting. If you have to sell someone on going on a date with you, wow, that's not good. If you have to sell someone on marrying you, wow, are you making a mistake? So you need people who want to do it. So how many people you bring on your team? Maybe you've suffered from this. You sold them on doing this, and now they're here, and what are they doing? Close your eyes for a minute. That's what they're doing. They're doing nothing. They're doing nothing because they're not excited about this. They don't believe in this. If they have some garbage in their mind about Aunt Martha told them, or something they read on the internet about the industry doesn't work, or something wrong with the company, they're not going to do a damn thing. So again, I'm looking for someone who's excited about what we're doing, and they come in and they go to work and they put their head down and they want to attack what we're doing with our business. And when I find that person, man, it's lights out. So that's really why I'm just saying all that to say something else. We're sorting. And the reason we teach that is people can't deal with rejection. So a lot of people, they're like, oh my God, this guy's going to be the one. And when they say no, it's like, they get so deflated, people quit. But if you just go, hey, some will, some won't, so what? I'm asking you to go to a concert. I'm a big Bruce Springsteen fan, okay? So if I ask you to go and you don't like Springsteen, you're like, nah, I'll pass. And I'm like, but I have great tickets. Yeah, no thanks. Just like if you ask me to a Jay-Z concert, may the force be with you, I ain't going. Okay, I don't want to go. Snoop Dogg, yay Snoop, I don't want to go. It's like, it's not my thing. So does that mean it's a scam? Does that mean the entire music industry is a scam? Does that mean that Snoop Dogg isn't going to make a lot of money? I think Drake is doing just fine without me showing up at his events. Just like people don't know who Ed Sheeran is, but he's putting 80,000 people a night in stadiums when he's touring. So you got to get what I'm saying, man. Some will, some won't. So what? Stop getting stuck on a person. So that's not even the point I'm trying to make. So that's what we're doing when it comes to getting people into business. But when they're in the business and an event's coming up, you are not sorting, you are selling. Because I'm just going to tell you this. You asked me earlier, you're talking about my success or track record. So I'm just telling you, in the last company I was in, we started the first event. We had 225 people at it. When we were at our height, we had regularly 15 to 20,000 people filling arenas all over the world. And our biggest one was almost 30,000 people at Cowboy Stadium. So, and the company got up to $1 billion in annual sales. You know, Jay Peso was a part of that. Jefferson Santos was a part of that. So I'm just telling you this. At one point I went to him and I asked for, we had a very basic demographic where we took all the brand new people who started against all the other brand new people who started. And we just measured the ones who went to a weekend event versus the ones who didn't. And we tracked them over a 12-month period. And the ones who went to at least one weekend event made 5 times more money than the people who didn't go. So it became very simple to go, well, do you want to make 5 times more money or 5 times less money? I mean, this is pretty doggone simple. And yes, it costs money, but for God's sake, you have no idea how to do this. That would be like, imagine taking a job as a plumber, but you have no idea how to hook up a pipe or do anything. I mean, you got to be shitting me. How long is it going to be until you're fired? So you don't know how to do this. Can you raise your hand and go, I don't know what I'm doing? It's the truth. So we're going to teach you, and we're not just we're going to take the best people in the company, people that are in the field every day doing what you're doing, and they're going to teach you exactly how to do it. not how they used to do it 7 years ago, how they're doing it right now. I mean, how could you not see the value in that? So the point is, you sell your downline. They're going to say things like, well, I want to go, but I don't have the money. And it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. What do you mean you don't have the money? Did you just spend a fortune on Christmas presents? Do you waste money every single month? You're telling me for real, looking me in the eyes, that you can't get $179? I mean, if you want to be a golfer and Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson would teach you how to play golf for $179 for a whole weekend, are you honestly telling me? What you're basically telling me is you don't really want to play golf. So if that's the case, it's cool, but then you got to understand that if you're not going to go to this event, I'm going to have to spend more of my time working with people who are going to the event, because the people going to the event are going to be so far ahead of you. Or they go, well, I want to go, but I don't have the time. Don't have the time? What's the problem? Well, you know, I work on Friday. I wouldn't be able to get out there till Saturday morning. Great. Get a 5 a.m. flight. Come out Saturday. In other words, you need to overcome their objections. There are so many people that are on your teams right now that would go to this event if you would sell them. And here's the thing you got to understand. If you're not selling them, then in their mind, they're going, well, it must not be important. Think about it for a minute. For God's sake, guys, if you don't tell them it's important, they're not going to think it's important. And it is important. So then when we track the numbers later in the other company, I wanted to see what the real impact was. So I said, give me everyone globally who's making over $10,000 a month. And we had, I don't know, thousands of people making over $10,000 a month. I want to see how many of them have not been to a seminar. I want to see how many of them. And thousands of them making over $10,000 a month. We could not find one person in the whole database making that much money who had not been to the events. So I'm just telling you, the events are a major difference maker. And I know you guys have done awesome conventions in the past. This is a whole new level. And this is what's fun about this. For the leaders who don't support this and promote it, you're going to find out that if you're a brand new up and coming leader and you promote the crap on the events, if you're listening to what I'm saying and you have some faith, wow, can you slingshot past a bunch of people really quickly? Because again, this is a simple fact. We're going to do regular events. Every time you're at an event, we'll give you another event to sign up to, another event. And so it gives your people a reason to stay in the business. And I'm telling you, if your people will go to 2, 3, 4 events a year, every year for the next 3 years, you're going to have some ninja black belt people on your team, man. That's what happens. I remember Jay Peso's on right now. I remember Jay when he was brand new. And listen, brand new, fired up, talented, excited, teachable, but didn't know what the hell was going on. No one who's brand new knows. And now Jay caught it. He learned the business, and then he started following, and he started putting hundreds of people on his event. And when he got that many people at the events, the guy was one of the top income earners in the entire company. So this is a simple system that will work. All the tech stuff, use it to get people in the company. But I got news for you as well. If you get a lot of people in with high tech and you don't have high touch to back it up, they're not going to stick around very long. What you want to have is a team that is loyal to you. How they're going to be loyal to you if the only time they ever see your face is over a screen like this? There's got to be face-to-face contact. And the meetings before and after the meetings, having a drink after the meeting, having breakfast with people, meeting people that aren't even on your team. One of the things that happened to me at my event that I went to, that first event, is I met a girl named Lori. We never dated. Weren't in each other's downline. I didn't make a dime off her. We worked sideline to sideline together because her immediate upline was just doing nothing. My immediate upline was telling me the wrong things to do stuff. So we decided we would just go to all the events and work and help each other out. When someone needed the conference call or 3-way call, I used my friend Lori. I would have never done that if I hadn't gone to the event live and Lori and I went to lunch together, decided we liked each other, believed each other had some value and talent, decided to support each other. Those are the kinds of things that happen at live events that you just don't have happening in a Zoom room. It just doesn't happen. So we're going to certainly leverage technology. Josh is probably the leading mind in the entire network marketing, not probably. He is the leading mind in the network marketing world when it comes to technology. I don't think that's debatable or disputable. But now by adding this extra element, guys, it's going to make all the difference in the world. So the objective is for you to start selling your team. You still got time, man. The event we're doing in Budapest isn't for another it's a month away. So there's still plenty of time. And the one that's in the USA is 6 weeks away. So there's still time. Now, the one in Budapest, we still have a lot of space. The one in the United States, we don't. We could easily sell that one out. So please don't be one of those people that's going to wait till mid-January to say, okay, we'll start moving it now. You better start selling those tickets or there may be no tickets left to sell. And I know at some price the point goes or the price goes up. That's not even as big of an issue to me. What's a big issue is there may be no seats. And if you are not in on this first event, I really think you're going to regret it. So we're going to be teaching a lot of cool stuff. I am going to be teaching you more details about flipping cards and how you look for the right leader and all that kind of stuff. But I'm just telling you, the leaders we picked in the field are going to be giving you nuts and bolts. How do you do the business? This is how I believe you get a company to $1 billion a year. Jenna came in, again, she had this goal to help this many people make this much money. How does that happen? Pretty simple. The people on your team have to make money. And if the people on your team are making a lot of money, then not only are they going to stick around, but they're going to bring more people in because they're having a great experience. So we've got to go to those people at the bottom of the tree and really teach them what they're doing. Will we motivate them? Yeah, but we're going to motivate them by mistake. The goal, this is not a rah-rah event filled with hero speeches to get people chanting. That's cool. That's not what we're doing. We're going to teach you how to do the business. So when can you imagine going to, the military boot camp? This is called boot camp. Imagine leaving a real boot camp and now your life is in jeopardy, man. You need to learn how to defend your life. You need to learn how to shoot a weapon. You need to learn all these things. Most people don't know how to do it before they get there. Well, guess what? You're still fighting a battle. It's not a battle like that. You're not going to die, but you're fighting for your dreams. You're fighting for everything you want. And we're going to teach you how to do what you need to do because it's going to be tough, man. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be bumps. You're going to have what we call dream stealers, people that are going to deliberately try to stop you from getting to where you get. There's going to be all kinds of crazy things. If you think you're going to become wealthy, successful, get to the highest rank of this company, be a millionaire, there's not going to be any stumbling blocks, then you are clearly using recreational drugs on a regular basis. That is not the way it works. There's a lot of hard work, but here's what we'll get across to you at the event and your people. It's worth it. It's worth it. If you're willing to put in work, and here's the deal, you got to have discipline. There's all these things. This is not a magic wand, again, where we lay hands on and you walk out and now you're wealthy. Discipline. What's easy to do is easy not to do. So I think if you bring your people, they'll have fun with me. I'll make them laugh and all that stuff. But for my part, I'm going to be in people's faces. I will be a lot like a master drill instructor would be if you were going to a real boot camp. This is not going to be sugar-coated. This is going to be in your face. You're here. You want to get wealthy. People in the room are going to be afraid. They're afraid of what's going on with the economy. Inflation is going out of control. God only knows what's going to happen next. You know what people are looking for right now? And this is important for you to hear this. A strong leader. Someone who's not afraid to tell them what's going on and where to go and how to get there. And that's exactly what we're going to do at boot camp. So for some of you, you need that. But let me tell you, your people need that. If you're not that leader yet and you're not ready to assume that role, then let us do it because this is what we do for a living, guys. So again, it's going to be awesome. I'm very excited. We're doing another call next week, but it's only for the people that are already signed up for boot camp. So if you haven't signed up yet, get registered before we do that next Zoom, because that's with the whole company, the whole North American company anyway. And I'm telling you, that one's going to be even more exciting than this was. I'm just honored and excited. I've been here for several months now, part of the family. But other than, talking for a couple minutes at convention, I haven't got a chance to do anything. So like, I'm like a stallion who's in a pent up in the chute, ready to come out in the chute, man. I'm ready to go to work. I cannot wait to do these events. And I promise you, if you just entrust me enough to deliver my message, but to help pick the speakers, guide and coach them, I'm telling you, you're going to have a predictable outcome that when you get people to the events, they're going to be easier to work with. They're going to be more low maintenance and they're going to produce more. That's what it's all about, guys. So again, I'm very grateful y'all took the time to be with me on the phone tonight, be on the Zoom tonight, whatever it is. And it's just a little bit of a taste. So again, I'm going to throw the call back to our host. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of this. And again, maybe you get a little flavor of what boot camp's going to be like. But please, please, please don't let tonight go nowhere. Let it take action. And if you're already signed up, then get off here and get 2 more people signed up before you go to bed tonight. It's all about taking action. I'll leave you with this. I say this all the time. Thoughts determine what you want. Actions determine what you get. So you can have the best vision board in the world, but if you ain't making phone calls and doing the things you need to do, those visions are not going to come true. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but that's just not going to happen. You've got to do the work. And we didn't get you on the phone tonight to waste your time. We got you on the phone tonight to get you to understand a few things, to get you in the right frame of mind to take action. That's what it's all about. So again, have a great night. God bless, and have a great new year. Set some badass resolutions. And we'll talk next week a little bit about how to make those things come true in your life. Thank you so much. Good night.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mark, for your time. And I think really what was said tonight was all about preparation, about where we're going as a company, not just for your team or for what you have or the goals you want to accomplish. It's going to come down to where this company is 5 years from now. And the people that show up at that boot camp, I mean, those 2 facts that he shared, where do you want to make 5 times more or 5 times less? Well, I'd go with 5 times more. That means be at the event. Do you want to earn over $10,000 or more? Where 100% of people that were in the last company he was associated with, they went to an event. Those are stats you can't deny. So if you're not at the event, this is not like if you're not there, no one's going to talk to you. But if you want your chances of success to increase exponentially, almost guaranteed, you show up at the event. And that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, I just want to share a little story before we get off here is, my first time to be in network marketing. A week after I signed up, I spent my rent money to get in because I saw the vision of what this could do for me and my family. But then there was an event a week later and someone said, you need to be at this event. And I'm like, how am I going to do that? I just spent my rent money. But she's like, no, I promise you, if you're at that event, it will change your life. And I remember going to that event and I had a little baby at the time, 2-month-old. And I remember leaving the event several times to go back to the car to pump. That's a whole other story. But I knew and I was determined to be at that event. And that event changed my life. I remember being in that auditorium and being like, I have to do this. I have to do this. And I knew at that moment I was an ace, right? And so you're looking for those aces, but if you don't get them to that event, you'll never know if they're an ace or not, right? That event changed my entire life. I went on to make 6 figures plus that first year. But if I wouldn't have went to the event, I don't know if I would have had the belief in myself, the belief in other people to actually do it. And so I say, get as many people as you can there, because you never know who will wake up at that event and be that ace for you.
It's huge. And so we just want to do a call to action tonight. Get your ticket. There's going to be amazing things that happen in January, going into February. There's so many things planned out for the company over the next 12 months. You just want to be a part of it. And if you're a part of it, you're going to have success, which is so cool. Like even Mark said, you could not have any clue what you're doing, but all you got to do is show up and everyone will teach you what you need to do in order to have success. So I want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with us tonight. Again, January 5th is the next event. Make sure you have your ticket in hand before then. Most likely, I would assume after that, they might make prices go up. But again, it's not about the price. Even if it was $1,000, we still would go. And we were one of those people at convention when he said, you're going to get your ticket to the next event. We were barely in the company. We were like, okay, let's buy a convention ticket. Let's buy 2 boot camps. And he told us to do that. And that's what we're doing. And our goal is to have 50 people on our team at that event in Dallas. And so whatever your goal is, write it down. This is a perfect time to do it as we go into January. And hopefully we'll see you all on the next call on January 5th. If you need those details, get with your team, get with your leader, and they'll be able to provide those for you. And have an amazing, amazing New Year's. I can't wait. There's going to be so many cool things that come out in January. And we're going to have such a blast. So have a good night. God bless. And we'll see you next week.
Happy New Year.
Bye.